Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 4 Veersmith levels, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 4 or 5 more Veersmith levels, starting up with this one, Weapon Capsule Relay 8 by YouTube Social HD2, with 12 plays and a score of 3. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check if your level is covered, expand the description. So we're going to be focusing mainly on the special weapons that were added in version 1.4. And we have about 3 to 4 screens in every section dedicated to each special weapon. If anything, these series of levels act like a nice tutorial for these kinds of special weapons. A short and easy tutorial, that is. Considering the interesting bouncing properties of the Noise Crush, I can't wait to play a special weapons oriented stage focusing on it. Thank you for the Yoshiki. Seems like the Flame Blast got the short end of the stick. It's also fitting that Springman's weakness is the rolling cutter here. In the original game, his weakness was the Slash Claw, and that too was a cutting weapon. So this 8th iteration of the Weapon Capsule Relay was okay. Second level on the lineup is Green Danger by MAGMAX with 31 plays and a score of 8. Wonder why it's called Green Danger though. Oh, because of green force beams. Thankfully, the checkpoint density of this stage is very high. And the number of extra lives, aka full health restores, is pretty high as well. Really, it seems that this stage is testing our button mashing skills. Button mashing the slide button. For this section, hold right to win. I find it interesting that there were no spikes in this stage. I totally expected there to be at least one or two of them. But the stage decided to be more lenient in terms of that. Checkpoint placement was pretty good, very dense, especially with the amount of instant death here. And the difficulty progression was nice, starting out easy then getting a bit more difficult. That was a bit of a close one near the end. This was an okay stage. Third level on the lineup is Very Hard Level Without Checkpoints by Little Mac, with 21 plays and a score of 3. So this is a traditional / marathon level, or rather a fortress / marathon level. And I double checked, there are no checkpoints whatsoever, even just before the boss battle, so I need to be really careful. There's the end of the stage. Getting there is going to be a challenge. So I can't rely on quick resets either, so I need to be really careful with my shots and not take too much damage. I do start with several special weapons, so that should make the stage a bit easier. It seems that this stage is very generous in terms of E-tanks. As well as large life pickups. You know, for a stage that's labeled as very hard, very long, and it doesn't have checkpoints, it's really generous in terms of life pickups. Most of the stages that follow this marathon trend aren't as generous. That room is gonna be worrisome. So far, so good. I'm most worried with the segments with spikes, though. I also find it interesting how we loop around this stage, revisiting the same screens from different angles, or from different areas, I mean. This is the screen I'm worried about. Of course, these crash lifts are desynced as well. One down. Okay, wasn't that bad. I'm being a lot more silent throughout the stage because I need to focus. Any wrong moves and it's all the way back to the beginning. That was also another close one, and it takes us back over there. Time to face the boss. And because I have 5 E-tanks and 1 M-tank, I will spam them during the boss fight if necessary. It's Metal Man and there are no spikes anywhere, good. I didn't even need to use any of my tanks here. I'm a bit surprised that I was able to complete this stage on my first go with no deaths. It's not really very hard, it's just very tense. There are 2 or 3 spots in this stage where it is more likely to die, but as long as you're paying attention and focusing, it's not too bad. 4th level on the lineup is WindStorm Palace version 3 by Gokuless, with 24 plays and a score of 3. Just like with the previous Palace stages by Gokuless, there'll be 2 separate routes. a buster-only route, as well as a special weapons relay route. So I will be going through the stage twice to explore both of the routes. I'll first start off with the buster-only route, as that's the shorter and in some ways easier route. Based off the loading time, this stage is going to be at least 60 to 70 screens long. Another nice teleporter created using the foreground tile sets. Every different palace stage has a different teleporter that we warp into. Quick introduction to the fan gimmicks. As well as these purple enemies whose names escape me right now. Okay, good introduction to those enemies as well as the fans. Also nice usage of the blackout tiles in order to make a good transition. Another nice introduction to the Yafus. This is probably the special weapon relay route, so I will return back over here during my second playthrough. Interesting. It seems that those purple lightning creating enemies only spawn in from those green downward facing force beams. So there is an indicator and they don't pop up from nowhere. And that was introduced during their first introduction on the first section. I spy some spikes on the left. They kind of camouflage in with the background due to their similar color scheme, as well as two of the spikes being hidden by the life bar. You may want to change up the color a bit. Good checkpoint placement. Following the first section's completion. Another nice transition, this time to the outdoors. A bit of micro-stuttering here. Suddenly we have gyro blocks. Would have preferred if they were introduced in a safer environment, not over a bottomless pit first. That was a bit of a scary moment there. I wish I had a special weapon that could one-shot those tri-propeller enemies. Good checkpoint placement. Thank you for placing these large life respawners as well as large weapon capsule respawners. This is good stage design to have a checkpoint at the end of every section to separate out the challenges. Hello? The game just froze. The game is completely stuck, so I'll restart and meet you back over here. Alright, I'm back over here. That was a very strange bug. I never had a complete freeze in Mega Man Maker ever in this LP series. Must have been a strange interaction of those purple enemies and the Yafus. In fact, the game didn't even error out, it just completely froze. Thankfully, it happened near the beginning of the stage, so I didn't lose that much progress. Only about 2 to 3 minutes worth. I see that several of these areas will be made a lot easier once I gain some special weapons. Like for example the Windstorm, the Shadow Blade, and the Power Adapter. Not to mention the Jet Adapter. Especially when I have to deal with these enemies that are above my shooting range. At the very least, it's only about a 1.5 minute walk back, at most. I was a bit worried I was gonna get knocked into the pit there. To the right is the Super Adapter Challenge, and up over here is probably the boss fight. Yep, here we fight Windman. So instead of facing him here, I'll start the stage back from the beginning and gain all the special weapons and the special weapon relay route. That way the boss fight will be easier and more fun. No need to see me facing the boss twice after all. Just like with the previous palace stages, with the special weapon relay route, you need to collect all the special weapons in the chain. If you miss one special weapon in the chain, you cannot collect the next one in the chain, and you're forced to go back onto the Buster Only route. So due to that, I will be collecting all the special weapons that are possible in this stage. Our first point of divergence is climbing up this ladder. And as I mentioned near the beginning of this stage, taking the special weapon relay route is usually longer in comparison with the Buster Only route, as there's more screens to go through. So first off is the Windstorm. Which can just one-shot these aerial enemies, it seems. Although the Windstorm bouncing isn't strong enough to counteract the downward-facing fans. Thank you for the weapon capsule respawner here. It incentivizes us to use special weapons. And here we're forced to use the Windstorm and Air Shooter, so we do need it. Doing a safety reset because I want to be back at full health. So here's our first free tank. Not really free because we have a short challenge to get the air shooter as well as WindStorm. And the stuttering killed me over there because I jumped too early. This time we go downwards. Down this what looks like to be a pit but actually is the next route to go through because of these windstorm blocks. Where we acquire the top spin. I can't open this block yet because I need the power adapter. But there's no way to acquire it here without backtracking, and I don't think it's possible to backtrack over here, so I guess that's just a tease. I thought it'd bounce off of that Yafu, but no, I was too low. Just getting used to the enemy hitboxes. Okay, why am I not bouncing on top of them? Alright, I made it. Off screen, the game crashed 5 times due to an issue with the gyro blocks interacting with the downward facing force beams. And because of all those game crashes, I spent over 10 minutes getting back over here and repeatedly getting the game crash, so I was forced to restart the stage from the beginnings, and because of this engine issue, it destroyed my fun of the stage. It's not your fault, Gokuless, it's the developer's fault. I'll try my best to evaluate the rest of the stage, but because of that experience, it's kind of been tainted. And this is a very serious issue. Hopefully there's a hotfix in the near future, because if any creator wants to use the downward facing force beams and gyro blocks, if they potentially intersect with each other, it can crash the game. I also find it interesting that for this segment, we lost access to the air shooter at the beginning. In fact, this is the first instance of the weapon remover I've seen. Well, the second instance because the first one was during the previous parts level, Metal Slug X Mission 1. I guess these are added so we don't just easily cheese the challenges like in several previous Palace stages. Let's hope there aren't any similar hard crashes. Oh, another segment. This time you lose access to the Windstorm, Air Shooter, and Topspin. Also in that previous segment, you cannot bounce on top of those purple enemies until they're going downwards again. When they're rising to the top, if you try using a topspin on them, you'll just destroy them and phase right through them. So it's probably a bug, or perhaps it's intentional behavior, I'm not sure. Anyways, enough of my ranting. Let's finish this stage. That's neat. Whenever I get hit by an enemy or enemy projectile while I'm using the jet adapter, I'm not knocked out of the jet adapter. I'm pushed back a little bit, but I'm still flying, and I can still control my flight height. There is still a maximum ceiling of how high I can go with a jet adapter though, and that's dependent on at what elevation I start using a jet adapter at. Gonna do a safety reset just in case. Of course, here's the power adapter. I knew it was coming near because of my previous weapons being locked off by a cracked block. And it can actually crush enemies using the punch adapter, or rather the power adapter. Something of note I've noticed is that when you have the power adapter equipped, you walk slower than in your default form or in jet adapter form. You still jump at the same height. So far, I'd say that the difficulty curve of the special weapon relay route is better than the buster only route. For one, we don't have the difficulty spike with the jar block segment taking place over bombless pits and spikes. We can skip that using the topspin segment. Here we get access to the Noise Crush. Just wanted to be full on weapon energy just in case. Okay, shortcut. That's neat. We have to use the Noise Crush's charge properties in order to destroy the blocks here. Or of course, I could have done it on the left when I was climbing up on the left side. Neat segment showcasing the power of the Noise Crush. We're nearing the end as well. There's only a few other special weapons that we need, one of which is the Shadow Blade, as well as the Super Adapter near the end. And somehow I clipped into the wall over there. Not what I intended to do, so let's do a quick safety reset. Another section where I lose access to special weapons. Oh, I'm gonna miss the jet adapter for this section, especially with all of these tri-propeller enemies. We regained our 3 special weapons along with the Shadow Blade. Probably want to push this forwards. Another free tank. Although knowing all the hurdles I had to go through in this stage, it's not really free. Time for the last section before the Super Adapter. This is the one that's the most worrisome. At least this time I can destroy the Afus. So no chance of getting pushed into one of the pits. Good, now I can acquire the Super Adapter. Suddenly the stage feels like it's lagging a bit. I'm not sure why. At least it's still playable. That's the most important part. Oh, I thought that was just an alternate route there. That's the direction I'm supposed to go through. Okay, the stage isn't laggy anymore. Somehow dying and respawning just cleared out the game's memory or something. Well, as long as you pay attention, it's not too bad. I was expecting a lot more spikes. Nonetheless, here's the super adapter, as well as an E-tank. So time to face Windman and complete this stage. Right now, in terms of recording time, this stage has taken over 45 minutes, primarily due to crashes and all the other things that I cut out. Overall, a very solid level that is sadly marred by engine issues, like with all those crashes in that one section. I'll still give it a thumbs up, but the engine devs should really fix the interaction with the downward-facing force beams and the gyro platforms. Otherwise, in other stages, you'll have more serious crashes. I'd give this stage about a 7.5 out of 10, but I would say that the special weapon route outside those issues is better designed, because with the Buster only route, the second section where you have to jump over all those spikes and bottomless pits on the gyro platforms, that feels like a difficulty spike and harder than the rest of the stage, excluding the final section, so it should be moved over there. Whereas for the special weapon chain, the preceding challenges are always a bit easier than the succeeding challenges. I did also like how Gokuless utilized the weapon removers, so he didn't just cheese several of the special weapon challenges, like you could potentially do in several of the other Palace stages, or most of the other stages rather. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more viewer submitted levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!